Hi, I'm Richard Sabata, and I'm the VP of Sales from Infinavate Consulting and IT Services. And I'm pleased to have with me today one of our host partners, Alex Ponek, who's the CEO of Precog Security. And Alex is a 15-year industry veteran and has been co-founder and CEO of his company for the last 3 years. He has been helping companies all over the world prepare for, prevent, and remediate cybersecurity. And I'm going to turn it over to Alex because he's going to cover for you today what are the top 3 security threats. Why is it important, especially in today's pandemic and post-pandemic world? And what are the things that, what we're going to cover in a series of 3 separate podcasts is not just cover the threats, but what you need to do in order to address them. So I'll turn it over. Welcome, Alex.
Well, thank you, Rich. I really appreciate the warm welcome, and thank you to all our listeners. And to your point, yes, we are here to identify top 3 threats in 2021. There's a lot of threats out there, so we wanted to alert people that it's a very dangerous cyber world out there. But we did wanted to identify 3 top threats, and most importantly, to give our listeners an idea and call to action how they can minimize the risk of the attacks to those threats. And the 3 threats that we identified that we want to talk to in our podcast series are: number 1, cloud-based threats; number 2, remote worker security. Past pandemic, past COVID, remote worker security is incredibly important. And then email phishing attacks, because email is still predominantly way how people communicate in this world.
Thanks for covering the top 3 threats. So why is it so important to businesses today?
Well, cybersecurity, as you said, I've been in cybersecurity for 15 years, and we are seeing just exponential growth in the attacks. We do see that cybercriminals, that's how we call them, are becoming more sophisticated. They're becoming more funded, sometimes even by states. And we also see that businesses, whether it's a small business or enterprise, they're incredibly vulnerable, that it's incredibly important to identify threats, but most importantly, closing those security gaps that the companies have.
Thanks, Alex. And we look to cover these threats in more detail in our series of podcasts. So thanks very much for tuning in, and see you on the 3 podcasts.